If you need help prepping a TTRPG session, then watch this video. And if you don't, watch this video because the tips in this video will help make your prep simple, but still very effective. Hey everyone and welcome to Dungeon Bits, and here are my aims with this video. If you need help with prep, I'll show you how you can prepare for a one-shot or a campaign with any system. And if you are already confident, but you end up spending a lot of time that you just want to have back, watch this video and see if you can use these tips to cut down on the bulk. And of course, if you're a player who thinks that you can never GM because it's too hard or I wouldn't know where to start, hopefully you'll see how easy prep can be and maybe you'll give it a shot. So first, let's prep a one-shot where the story begins and ends with this session. To get started, answer these questions. What is the singular goal and how do the players succeed in that goal? One-shots, ideally, should only have one goal, and I'm sure that someone will disagree, but trust me, if you think up a big list of goals to do, your game will be rushed, or it won't be done in time. You don't want to make your session into Raya the Last Dragon, where there are 5 different MacGuffins and 5 different places, and the session can't breathe because the goal checklist will take an eternity to complete! Let's go through an example of this. Let's say that you're running a sci-fi game and you think that you can answer questions about the setting of this one story, whether they're made up on the spot, prepared beforehand, or they're in a source book somewhere. Well, now we need a goal. Let's say that the players need to rescue a scientist who sent out a distress call. That's the goal, and the victory condition is to save the scientist via evacuation or making their location safer. And boom! Just like that, super simple, we have the end for the one-shot. And when we have the end, we can fill in the blanks, starting with the beginning. It can feel strange to make the ending before the beginning, but where do your players start? Are they gathered by a bounty boss in a shady bar? Are they zooming around on their spaceship together when they hear the call from their ship's radio? Okay, great. We have the beginning and the end. See how easy this is? So what happens next? Well, anything. But don't let that scare you. It sounds like you're exposed and left without direction, but you have a direction. You have the beginning and the end, so make a path between the two. So, if you want incredibly easy prep, simply follow these steps. 1. What location are the players going to travel through to get to the goal? In our example, the players could essentially fast travel to the site of interest, which is some laboratory where the scientist is hiding. They tend to be there, and a laboratory dungeon crawl? Sounds great. Step 2. Think of 2. Only 2 problems to face in this one-shot. If you do only 1, the players will have a very singular experience. Strange. And any more than 2 and you run into the problem of it being just too complex. So, just 2. For example, in this laboratory, there are destroyed halls, meaning that the players will have to find their way through a dungeon with chasms, skill rolls required to bypass obstacles, and other obstacle course-like challenges. And the other problem is a medical trial virus gone wrong, and the lab is also flooded with zombie-like mutants. Now while the players are trying to find their way across chasms, lift up heavy doors, and solve puzzles, if at any time they're too loud or brash, they will alert the enemies. This can create amazing encounters where both problems appear at the same time. A fight with these mutants with holes in the floor, or perhaps the players try to help each other onto a ledge, leaving just one player below still. And a small group of these guys attack the lone player. Do you see how just zombies is a combat one-shot and just obstacles may lose their appeal very quickly? And this can come in many forms, not just combat and obstacle courses. Perhaps you're running a mystery game. Well, the mystery is one problem, obviously, and the other problem could be trying to escape the killer, who is still at large, while trying to solve the crime he committed. And step 3, remember there was 3 of those, once you have your beginning and your end, and you have your problems established, make 6 to 8 encounters between these 2 points. And again, don't sweat it, because 2 of these could be big encounters like a combat or a big puzzle, but the others can be simply presenting information about the laboratory in the form of notes or a grisly scene left behind. Maybe a chase scene where the players pursue or are pursued, or a combination lock puzzle with a passcode hidden amongst dates written on evidence notes. But why 6 to 8 encounters? Well, it's kind of arbitrary. It's worked for me. But if your players genuinely want to play this game and aren't just playing it for your sake, then they'll make their own content and encounters. Your players will love to try and figure out the mystery before it's even complete yet, so if you have even the simplest mystery, they'll probably just sit and theorize what happened when they don't have all the info, which takes up time. They'll have fun just searching and looting things, or just role-playing with one another. And with your prepared content, and the content your players make with each other at the table, you'll be amazed at just how much time can fly when everyone is having fun. I guarantee that if you run multiple sessions of one-shots or a campaign, you will realise how easy it is to over-prepare. You'll think that you haven't made enough stuff, but then you'll make some encounters and... I only got like half of it done. So, here's a little tip. Think up where the midpoint in your story or your content is, and when it's halfway through game night, consider whether you've reached that point or not, and if not, you may want to cut bits out of your content so only the juicy stuff remains. Or if the players have sped through, then don't worry. It's better to have it end naturally, even if it's sooner, rather than trying to pad the session. Hopefully by now, you'll have noticed that it doesn't take much to prepare a great session. But what about campaigns? That's much harder, right? Because you have like a full world and a full plot to cover? Not at all. In a campaign, you have the whole setting to inspire you, and every time you prep, you don't need to consider the beginning, because the ending of last time is the beginning of this time, and the players will probably already have a goal. So now you just gotta flesh out the in-between. So, make the end goal. Think of where the players start and make some encounters for your players to play with, while two problems run alongside them, keeping tensions high and the threat present. It's as simple as that, but after a while, after running a couple of sessions, you will figure out what's best for you, how complex your notes should be, how much time you should spend. But hopefully now, you fearful players can see how easy prep can be, and how you experienced people can allow yourselves to cut down on the complexity of your content, because really, you can achieve so much with not much, perhaps even just a single post-it note, or maybe with nothing prepared. But don't tell the players. Thank you for watching. I'm Ellis, and if you want to learn how to make encounters that I mentioned in this video, and how to make them even more exciting, then click the video on screen. I love you all, and I'll see you next Saturday.